Hi, I'm Matt with ApplianceVideo.com. Today we're going to be looking at the water fill sensor on this Whirlpool freestanding ice maker. Stop. Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for proper voltage. Remember to also turn off the water. You will need the following tools before you begin this repair: a flathead screwdriver and a 1/4 inch nut driver. A defective water fill sensor can only be tested in the manual test mode. There is no way to check it with a meter. Basically, if your fill sensor is defective, it can cause one of two things. It'll either think that the pan is full of water when it's not, and not actually add water to produce ice to run it up over the evaporator, or it could not sense that the pan is filling up, which will basically cause your inlet valve to run for too long and overfill the pan, which that water will then spill down and start melting all your ice that's at the bottom of the bin. So you'd basically come and find slushy ice down at the bottom where the bin is basically just getting saturated with water. To begin this repair, we must first gain access to the interior components of the unit. Now we've removed the ice bin door just for video purposes, but the next step we're going to take here is removing the 2 1/4 inch screws for the cutting grid cover. And then you can just go ahead and grab the cover and pull it off. To remove the cutting grid, we're going to first disconnect the Molex connector here. And then we're going to remove the 2 1/4 inch screws that are holding the bracket in place. Now with the screws removed, you can just go ahead and slide the grid right out. Just want to be careful that you're not going to catch on your bin thermostat wiring that's on the side of the cabinet here. The first step is removing the water slide assembly. This step is not completely necessary. We're just going to take this step just to gain a little bit of extra clearance. Once the screws are removed, just go ahead and pull the reservoir out. The next step is going to be removing the 1/4 inch screw holding the recirculating pump cover on. Now we can just go ahead and pull the cover off. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the water reservoir. This step is optional, but it does just give you a little bit more room to work. Just have these little finger tabs on each side here. And once those are removed, you're going to go ahead and disconnect your pump harness. Pull the tray out. Okay, now we can go ahead and remove the recirculating pump assembly. First thing we're going to do is just disconnect the hose here and go ahead and disconnect both of your Molex connector harnesses. And then you've got a total of 3 1/4-inch screws holding the bracket in place. One on the inside here that you really can't see from the front. Just kind of got to feel it. And you've got your 2 along the back. This one here, you can just pop this hose out of place. Once all your screws are removed, you can just go ahead and take the whole assembly out. Okay, well what we have here is basically the drain pump assembly. If you buy the whole kit here, it'll come with a new water level sensor, or you can replace just the sensor itself. Now we're just going to replace the sensor only. You're going to start by just sliding this bracket back. And the sensor itself just kind of presses into place. So what you're going to have to do here is just take a flathead screwdriver, and just press the sensor through, pull it out the back side. Now we're going to go ahead and install our new water level sensor. Go ahead and put it in through the back side there. And just snap it into place. All right, and then we're just going to slide our cover back on here. Now we can go ahead and reinstall the assembly. Now we're going to go ahead and reinstall our recirculating pump assembly. Go ahead and put it up in here. We're just going to go ahead and install our 3 1/4-inch screws. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and reconnect your Molex harnesses. Snap your hose back in place. Now you can go ahead and reconnect your hose for your recirculating pump. Now we're ready to reinstall the water reservoir. And just kind of bring it down underneath here. You want to bring your harness up the back. You can go ahead and hook that up. And then just swing the tank back up into position here. Reinstall our wing nut screws. Take the recirculating pump cover, slide it up inside. You got your 2 tracks here that it's going to slide into. And the slots on the side here. Go ahead and install your 1/4-inch screw. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our reservoir water slide. Next, we'll reinstall the cutting grid. Gonna basically put it up in the track. You want to just be careful of your bin thermistor harness and the evaporator thermistor harness. You want to make sure that it's not going to catch on either of those. Slide it up in there. And we can go ahead and install the connector. And we're going to go ahead and put our 2 1/4-inch screws in on each side. Now we can go ahead and reinstall the grid cutter cover. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our cutting grid cover. Just want to make sure that your wire here doesn't get pinched. And that will complete the repair on the Whirlpool freestanding ice maker. Thank you for watching another quality video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.